This is my hot rod. This is my car, my love and joy here. Pride and joy, I mean. Opening the hood. It's a 502, but it's punched out 30 over, so it's a 509.
I can dream of the old days. Life was beautiful then.
Morning. Welcome to the GMR Breakfast. I'm Clay Snyder, and we were asked about significant events in our working career. One that absolutely stands out for me would have been late 1971 when Paul Chaina forced Harold Lindsay to retire. He was a pretty hard taskmaster department head, but better than that, the replacement was Dick McDonald, whose first meeting said, everybody go out and party and have a good time. That was just a complete change in how we ever had worked together. So that one I will never forget and made my career much happier going forward.
Good morning, I'm Dick Malik. Significant event, GM. I know you'd probably like to hear something that we developed over there, but the significant event for me is when EDS took over all the computing system over at Research.
Dick Moreno here. Most of you folks know me, I think, by now. I think my significant event would be retiring and starting up onto a new career over at Macomb Community College. So it's been 15 years now, and I'm still going strong and enjoying every minute of it.
My name's Dennis Collis. I worked at GM since '73.
Dan Stowey started in 1954, and I was really shocked when I met Boss Kettering. He was this consultant at the time. Mabel Clancy was the secretary, and I really enjoyed it. He was a very nice man.
Otto Klingenmeyer, and I'm here to meet some buddies I haven't seen in a few years.
Jack Beard, the electric car. Well, that was, we started off with the Sterling Electric, and then moved on up to the Volt after many years of trial and error.
My name is Gil Lalonde, and probably the most significant event is the day I went on salary. I was in the shop for 18 years, and I went for an interview. And at that interview, I told the person who was interviewing me, which I believe was Don Hayes, and I said I had a vacation plan, 3-week vacation, and I had to put in for it in February. How was that going to affect by going on salary? Very seriously, Don looked at me and said, I have to know a week ahead of time for you to go on vacation. I knew then I made the right choice to go on salary.
I'll tell you, the guy that yesterday that replaced Herb Rober. I was thinking about this, and back in the late 50s, when the NBC Today Show was hosted by Dave Garroway, they broadcast that show from the lobby of the Research building, and I thought that was kind of unusual.
Good morning, Jim Augustinides here. A number of years ago, back in the 50s, I joined Research Labs and started at GMI. The first job I was assigned to was a technician supporting a gentleman named Dick Adams, another tech, and we were investigating why the brakes failed on Mr. McEwen's Firebird 1 when it crashed. And it was an interesting job for me only because of the people involved. So, let you all know, even though McEwen crashed the car, a lot of people worked on trying to figure out what went wrong.
Well, trying to do a catch-up. I worked with GM Labs with him 50 years ago, in 1959. About 6 years. I didn't retire from GM.
My experience was 60 years ago when I had the pleasure of seeing an operation of open heart surgery by a mechanical heart that was built by the Research Laboratories. I was a kid from Chatsey High School. I don't remember his name, but it was a great experience. Just after I started working there.
Lee Buckner here. Was just thinking about all of the new automatic driving cars today, and we had those back in the 60s. We had one on the Firebird, and we were running it at the proving grounds, and it kept running amok, and they found out that it was on the same frequency as a songbird that was sitting over on the fence, and it was messing it up and getting it off of its frequency, and it would go astray.
Chuck Delir, and I just want to let you know that my biggest memory of research labs are the friends and the camaraderie that developed over 40 years, continues to this day.
My name is Phil Daigle, and I'll just ditto what Chuck said about camaraderie and friendship.
I don't know. You know, since I retired, I don't know anything anymore.
Hello, this is John Pinella. I worked at GM Research in the physical chemistry department. I enjoyed it very much. My best experience is making money as fast as I can.
Okay, Guy Orlando, and I was always in the garage from the time I hired in to the time I left. But one day, you know, we used to have cars that our execs could drive. So one had requested a Fiero. So I had the Fiero brought in. Paul Vickers got in to drive it. As he was heading out the door, I waved to him. Well, his foot slipped off the brake pedal, hit the door going out of the garage, and I wasn't so concerned about the door as Paul. I ran out there and I said, "Paul, are you okay?" He said, "Yes." I said, "What happened?" He said, "My foot slipped off the brake." Hey, that was one of those exciting times.
This is George Clancy. And see, my significant event was the DARPA Grand Challenge we worked on just before I retired. And as would have it, we won the race that was held out in California.
Hi everyone, Joe Morrell. I was at GM for about 40 years, just under 40 years, and during that experience in the drafting room, design room, I worked on so many different things. They were all really great. I mean, from the turbine engine to the Wankel engine, you know, the rotary combustion engine, the Drag force, you know, gear shift, which was a manual automatic. All of that was so much fun, and then the camaraderie of meeting everyone at GM and going through all of the different people, you might say, meeting them and talking to them, and just enjoyed it the whole time. Thank you, and I hope everybody else enjoyed their time at GM. Have a great day.
Good morning. My name is Steve Rode, and I guess I had a great time at research over the years, and I guess one of my most memorable experiences was when we moved out to Project Trilby. That was a lot of fun. It only lasted about 3 or 4 years, but we had a lot of fun being off-site and setting everything up and working on some exciting things having to do with electronics and controls, computers and cars and simulation, etc., etc.
I'm Leonard Esselink, and my most memorable moment is when research decided to go into the finite element business, and I got contacted by them and worked with Kurt Vail and developed General Motors' first finite element modeling system that was used till 2002. We developed it in 1974, and it lasted for 26 years.
My name is Tim Klein, and some years, probably the mid-80s sometime, I was put on the afternoon shift, and I asked for a vacation during Easter time, and they told me after some fiddling around that they couldn't because I was too important. I wrote a letter. I shouldn't be the one penalized for their scheduling problems. Later in the day, they came around and they gave me a 2-week suspension. So I took my vacation, and when I came back, they had to pay me because I didn't do anything wrong.
My memorable experiences was when I got hired in and when I retired.
Dick Kramer, when I hired in and when I retired.
Okay, Harry Hodgson, the one I remember most was using helicopters to deliver printed output down to the GM building. Instead of there was no network, they had to use a helicopter to take it back and forth.
Okay, I'm Dave Howarth. I worked in the electronics department at Research starting in 1972. And one of the memories that I have are the E&I, Electronics and Instrumentation, picnics in the summer. Once a year we'd go out to a metro park and bring our families along and had a really great time, and I miss those days.
Joe LaSala. I've been retired since 1987, and I'm glad to see you guys. Frank Jamerson, yeah.
Say more.
Everybody remembers him.
I'm John Summers. I worked at GM for 20-some years, and then I retired in 2000. Before I retired, though, I got transferred to Delphi for 3 years, and that is my memory.
Hello, everyone. Looks like we have about 28 people show up today. Steve didn't scare them off with asking questions, so that's a good sign. Hopefully we get some good responses. At least Steve was happy with them. And hopefully we'll see you next month. Take care.
Captain Video, Master of Space, Hero of Science.
Oh yeah, we love waiting on you. You should come in every morning.
We'd like to. That was good.
We were just talking about that actually. We would love for you to come in every
single morning. So we'll see you tomorrow, right?
Oh, that'd be great.